The Engineer Corps of Krieg are renowned for their skills as demolition experts, sappers and close-quarter trench fighters. This also means they have some expert technology in the form of the remote mine. Hello, and in this guide we'll be painting a Krieg Combat Engineer Watchmaster, which will help you paint the rest of your unit for the tabletop. We'll also be painting one of the smallest and most loved models in this unit, the remote mine. All the paints we'll need are on the screen now. Pause the video if you need a bit more time. We also have a list of the brushes we need, but you can use whatever brushes you feel more comfortable with. If you're new to painting or want to brush up on your skills, you can check out our Painting Essentials playlist to learn all about our paints and techniques. Before we start painting, I'll undercoat these models in Mechanicus Standard Grey, giving us a neutral tone for the paint scheme so both models match. We'll start off with a great coat outside with Night Lord's Blue and a small base brush. Just make sure you get under any backpacks and between any armour plates. We'll also base coat the mine's bodywork too, so it matches the rest of the unit. A couple of coats should do the trick, and don't worry about being messy at this stage. Looking at the box art, the coats are a really dark, desaturated blue colour, so I'll make that happen later on with some contrast paint. Now we can look at painting the inside of the coat and the sleeve cuffs with Fenrisian Grey. As this colour is a little bit thin, you may need an extra coat to get a solid colour, but just remember to make sure you leave every coat to fully dry to keep a smooth and consistent finish. For the bodywork on mine, I'm going to make it look a little different to the box art with some texture. I'll be using a small piece of sponge to stipple on this colour. We want to leave some darker spots in places, but we can fill in any areas that the sponge can't reach with some brushwork. Once that last layer is dried, we can shade these colours to make them more drab. And to make it a little drab, contrast can really help us here, especially Gryph-charger Grey, and we'll be using it in two different ways. We'll be using a medium layer brush here for a bit more control. First, for the outside of the coat, we'll use it straight out the pot as it is. We just want to be careful for any unwanted pooling, so remove it with a clean brush if needed. This will tint and bring the blue tone down a little as it dries, making it slightly darker but desaturated. Then for the inside of the coat and cuffs, we'll thin down 1 part Gryph-charger Grey and apply it lightly to those folds as a shade. The same goes for the cuffs, and you can always add more once the first coat is dry. For the mine, you can use either option, depending on how dark or light you want the shading. Great, now that's shaded, let's add some more base colours. Keeping with our medium layer brush, we'll use Corvus Black for the trousers, gloves and boots. We'll also use this for any gun casings, backpack or gas mask details you may have. Just be careful of the coat we just shaded, but if you do make a mistake, just follow the previous steps once you have finished your next base coats. You can also paint any wires on the mine in this colour. This will help make sure that we don't have too much paint, creating unwanted texture. For the dark silver details, we'll apply at Iron Warriors. This can be used for the gun body, sword and any armour plating. It also can be used on the mine in the centre of the mine's bodywork and the drill treads. There are still so many little details found on these models, so take your time to check them out on the box art so you don't miss them out. Then for those skull and eagle icons, alongside the sword hilt, we'll use Skullcrusher Brass. As these details are around, near or on the Iron Warriors details, just ensure you have a steady hand. Once you're happy with the metallic layers, change your paint water so we don't add any metallic flakes into the rest of our colours. Now we'll shade the metals, and to get that dark but dirty tone, we'll thin down 1 part Ratling Grime with 2 parts Lamium Medium, using a medium layer brush still, and applying it over those plates and icons. It works really well in the recesses of the weapons too, and gives an oily finish to the mine's working parts. Just make sure you keep this away from the greatcoat. It's best to apply it now rather than later, as we don't want to stain any of the lighter colours. Getting into some of the smaller details now with Doombull Brown for any of the leathers and straps found around the model. All the backpacks are different, so take your time and pick out those little details. There might be other details that have wooden handles, so pick those out too. Right, with that darker brown down, let's paint the soft sides of the gas mask and the leg wrappings with Zandri Dust. Just make sure that you don't smudge this colour onto any of the metals, so take your time. If the backpack has any ropes, just quickly paint those too. You can also thin down 1 part Zandri Dust with 2 parts Lamium Medium, if you want to create a more dusty effect for the mine. depending on how long it's going to be around for, that is. Now we'll quickly paint the lenses, and seeing they are so small, we'll paint them with Evil Sunz Scarlet and a small layer brush, so they're nice and bright straight away. You can use this colour on any of the details like wires and lights on the mine too. Make sure your brush has a sharp point by rolling and twisting it on the palette. Then you can get a clean application onto those lenses and keep the silver neat. With the red details done, we can move to the last base coat colour, and that is Corax White for the skull marking on the gas mask. We're sticking with that small layer brush, as there are a lot of small details that we want to avoid painting. Take your time and add thin layers so it stays nice and smooth once dry. We have one more shade to do before we can add some highlights. So we'll use Agrax Earthshade in two ways. For the Doombull Brown, Zandri Dust and Evil Sunz Scarlet details, we'll use it straight out the pot, but apply it lightly or soak up any excess shade. As these details are quite small, leaving too much shade on them could overwhelm them. For the mine, just use it on the red details. For the skull mask, we'll thin down 1 part Agrax Earthshade with 2 parts Lamium Medium, so it's a little lighter in colour. We'll apply it lightly so it settles into any recesses. Leave it to dry and see if you want to add any more, or if you need to tidy up with Corax White, depending on how gritty and dirty you want your engineers to be. Great stuff! Now our models are ready to have some extra details applied. For the metal details, we'll use Stormhost Silver to edge highlight those dark metal plates, any weapons and brass icons. Just make sure your brush is pointed, so you get nice sharp thin lines. You can also add battle damage with small lines to simulate scratches on the plates. This works really well on both the Watchmaster and the metal parts of the mine. Next is Administratum Grey, to highlight the folds on the inside and the outside of the greatcoat, and also the Corvus Black details. This light grey is super versatile for these 3 different tones of grey, blues and blacks. So just make sure the lines are thin and small, so they don't overwhelm the shading and the main colour of these details. Also, use this to highlight the bodywork of the mine. You can use the side of the brush for a lot of those edges to save time and create battle damage. And to finish off our model, we'll quickly add a highlight to the leather details with Tuskgor Fur. It's nice and quick, but don't rush and slip. And there we are! Our Krieg Watchmaster and the remote mine are ready to break down enemy lines with fearless loyalty. I haven't based my model this time, as Dan has an awesome video on making some war-torn bases for your Krieg army, so check that out for some inspiration. If you want more tips and tricks, visit the Warhammer YouTube channel, or you can always visit one of our many Warhammer stores where our friendly staff will be more than happy to help. Thank you for watching and see you soon. Bye bye!